conversations around nature, societal issues, education, business, and innovation. EIN TV, educative, innovative, and nature centric.
Hello, everyone. Welcome to the very special edition of Environmental Resort on Air and TV. My name is Ediong Senyene Ndunobong. It's indeed a pleasure and a delight to have you join us today on this conversation. About last week on this show, we had someone talk to us about climate smart agriculture, and it was indeed an interesting conversation. I trust you learn a thing or two. And if you don't mind, you may want to go back to the our videos. Go to our pages on Facebook, on YouTube, and perhaps even my personal page on Facebook. You would find the conversation, and then you would get to learn further from what we shared on that particular edition of the show. My name is Ediong Senyene Ndunobong, and it's always a privilege to be your host on the program. And today, like I had said already, we are having a very special edition. This is to mark the 2023 edition of the International Youth Day. The theme of this Youth Day has been green skills for youth. So we are trying to, gather voices across Africa, perhaps not just ordinary voices, but voices of young people across Africa. So we did our best to see that we gather them across the different regions of Africa, the Western Africa, Southern Africa, and of course east of Africa. Did we? Okay, unfortunately, we could not get someone from the northern region of Africa. But trust me, as the conversation keeps going, we will have somewhat someday bringing someone from that region to talk to us on diverse issues, especially as it relates to the environment. So today with me, I have some amazing persons who are coming to share their thoughts about green jobs, perhaps because there's actually a report from the African Development Bank that about 263 million young people will lack an economic stake in the society, in the system, in whatever we will talk about job, and then so that should bother you because it bothers me, and I know it bothers a lot of young African out there. 263 million people, that's quite a number. And if you want to look at the advantage we have in Africa, it's in the young population. And if this number of persons do not have a stake, particularly in economic wise, what then becomes our state of the ability to acquire whatever it is that our purchasing power, what then becomes our poverty rate. And with the impact of climate change, you see that our own will be very worse as African people. It will be very bad because we contribute less, but we suffer more from the impact of climate change. So for me to not talk too much because I have will be talking to you, fielding questions from me, I would like to introduce to us the very first person who has been able to join the conversation today, all the way from Malawi. Lisa Banda. Lisa, you're welcome to the show.
Thank you very much. Thank you.
Lisa, if I want to go through your profile, it may take me some further time. So I would like you to please use your mouth at this point to make a brief introduction of your person. Thank you.
Okay, so I am Lisa Bander, as Ed also said, and I'm from Malawi, southern part of Africa, that is. So currently I'm in Lilongwe. I do work as a program officer for Civil Society Network on Climate Change, where we do policy research, advocacy, but also engage stakeholders, different policy and decision makers to raise awareness about the issues affecting people that are really experiencing the brunt of climate change impact. And I'm also a UNICEF youth advocate. And yeah, I think for now, I will let everything that I say speak about my profile. Thank you.
All right, thank you very much, Lisa. Lisa is a very smart person that I met at the Nairobi Summer School on Climate Justice, put together by Pan African Climate Justice Alliance, and of course at the Kenyatta University. And we just had to connect and then we get to share thoughts. And having her on the show today is actually such a delight for me. We'll be expecting some other guys to join us. Once they're able to sort out their technical glitches, we will have them live here, share their experience and their thoughts with us. So, ladies and gentlemen, we'd like to say a very big thank you first to the guys who have made sure that we are always on your screen every now and then. We'd like to say a very big thank you to Blue Green Initiative for Sustainable Development, Climate and Sustainable Development Network of Nigeria, and of course, Pan African Climate Justice Alliance, who has always made sure that we have this conversation going. And then I would like to say a very big thank you to the Nairobi Summer School on Climate Justice, the team at the Secretariat. They are doing amazing work, and of course, for making sure that African youth across the continent, come together to build knowledge, to build capacity, and of course, to make sure that our voices are heard out there. Thank you to everyone on that team. So, Lisa, back to you. Let's keep the ball rolling. And I would like you to, because I just had to share that figure from the African Development Bank, and I would like to know if truly you are worried or you're not.
You know what? I'm very worried because when it comes to us, when it comes to green skills, it's about us taking advantage of the opportunities that we have. And we talk about this huge number of people that are really not having that opportunity where they can showcase all the skills that they have. Then that is a really big challenge that we have as a continent. But also when we talk about even young people in Africa, we have the most of young people here in Africa. And when you talk about even unemployment, that is one key issue that we need to work on as a continent. And that takes us to the topic of today on green skills for youth, because it is these green skills that we need to harness if we are to survive in this changing climate. Because when you're looking at the world now, there are a lot of things that have changed. The communities that we live in, they have changed a lot. And green skills are there so that we will be able to take advantage of the opportunities that are coming, so that we will be able to also be able to survive in this world, in this changing climate. So this is something that we need to worry about. And this is something that green skills will really help us to take advantage of and make a change in our lifestyles, in how we approach issues, how our daily lives even. So yeah, me and everyone else should be worried.
All right, thank you, Lisa. While you were still making your opening remark, our brother from Liberia join us. Ezekiel Nyamfor, welcome to Environmental Resort.
Yeah, thank you, brother.
That's so good to have you, Ezekiel. What I did with Lisa was I made sure that she introduced herself, because young people in Africa are doing amazingly well. And I wouldn't want to I feel bad when I say people should share their brief bio, but I would like you to take just about 30 seconds to introduce yourself properly.
Thank you. My name is Ezekiel Yanfor, and I'm from Liberia, West Africa. I serve as the executive director for Liberian Climate Action. Thank you for having me.
Okay, so Ezekiel, this year's theme of International Youth Day has been green skills for youth, and we are collecting the voices of young people across Africa. That's the essence of this show today. And then I would just like you to share your thought briefly, because there's been a series of statistics data. Before you come on the show, I had talked about the studies of about 263 million people, young people in Africa, that will be that will be lacking economic stake in Africa come 2025. So how significant it is that you would say this year's theme of International Youth Day is to you and the things you do?
Yeah, actually, like what Lisa was saying is actually scary, that such statistics that young people will be out of job. And I think that is because the skills that the current generation has is not the 21st century skills that meeting the 21st century need. So we have to reskill the young people to meet the current challenges that we are faced with. So I believe that there are a lot of amazing youth across the continent, And when we invest in reskilling them to meet the 21st century need, we can address so many issues this way.
Uh, all right, thank you, Ezekiel. We are almost having a full house here. Is here. Jordanos rather is here, and I would like her to introduce herself briefly and just share what I thought is with regards to this year's theme of International Youth Day. Yodi, please, you have the floor.
Okay, thank you, Ed. Hello, everyone. My name is Jordanos Gitachau, the climate advocate from Ethiopia. I wanted to say Happy Youth Day, Happy Youth Month. So happy to join you guys.
Thank you, Lisa, for coming on the show. We sincerely appreciate your time. And of course, I would like to say at this point that this is NSC, the third cohort of Nairobi Summer School on Climate Justice Intact. So thank you guys for sparing your time to be a part of this show. Now, let me get to you, Lisa, because there's a trend right now. People are talking about the effect of, we are suffering from climate change. And now there's a trend that is taking over jobs from people. Talking about the age that we are in, the AI age, artificial intelligence. People are, complaining already that AI is taking over some jobs that are hitherto were being carried out by humans. And what do you think would be the impact of AI with regards to the availability of jobs for African young populations? Hello, Lisa, can you hear me?
Yes. So the AI is really something that is both useful to this world and to this generation where we talk about technology, and we always want to make things easier for us, But the bad side of it is we are putting all the jobs that are already few at risk. So it's really something which we have to balance technology, but technology that does not really put the economic standing of people at risk. And that brings us to the skills that we as young people and this world that we all need, because that is where the world is going into. We can talk about the different skills relating to communication, relating to critical thinking, relating to the community that we want to have, but also when it comes to creativity. So we have to take advantage of all these different skills that we need to harness as a person, because this will really help us to even navigate the world that we are in irrespective of the technology that we have. Because what are you bringing on? Yes, we don't want, but what are we bringing on the table that would still make us to have a standing in society? And that is where the creativity comes in. You as a person, how are you able to communicate your message well so that people are able to choose you and not the technology that is on the table? What are you bringing in on the table that comes you as a community of someone? This is something that technology does not offer us, that community where we feel that this is the people that I can interact with. This is the people that are really engaged in actually doing the work. We know that nature will really lead us to one day we have to go and plant trees. Will AI do that? Well, maybe we shall see. But these are all the things that we need to question with these coming technologies. And as young people, we need to take a stand, because not every change is good, and not everything that comes in as a blessing is a blessing. They say, oh, that glitters is not gold. So these are the things that we need to question as we're taking all these things on board.
I think that was quite fantastic of you, Lisa. Not everything that glitters actually gold. Thank you for that very particular last thought. Let me come to you, Ezekiel. The things you're doing in Liberia are quite amazing. I went through your profile, and that was one of the reasons why I didn't have to introduce you guys. So with what you're doing in Liberia, how do you think the young people in Liberia are building, or what are you doing to help them build these green skills in Liberia? What are those things you are putting in place to see that young people build capacity to take over from the next generation, or the previous generation rather?
Yes. So thank you. And one of the points that I made when I first came on the call was the issue of reskilling the young people, because we currently have certain skills that are not meeting certain needs. And when we talk about green skills, we are mentioning skills that can help solve both environmental problems and also address our basic needs and services. So from our endpoint in Liberia, there are so many young people who have ventured into green skills or green economy activities. And one thing that we've put forward is the issue of partnership in achieving these initiatives. And with partnership, linking it with environment and STEAM, and that of uh, climate entrepreneurship or green entrepreneurs is the promotion of the green economy. So from our end, we address the issue of climate change from the standpoint of the mutual benefit between the environment and its people, and things that we do will not hamper our economy, but rather our everyday activities to promote our economy. But that come in whether the environment is conducive to the country you find yourself in, because there are countries where the issue of green skills is being promoted by government, is being promoted by the people, and driven by the private sector. But I think what is important is that we should promote the private sector when it comes to green skills and entrepreneurship in our various countries. I'm not in the private sector, so I cannot speak for the private sector. I work with the non-governmental angle, where we build the capacity of young people when it comes to green skills, where we teach them how to protect the environment, and also seeing the environment from the angle of climate action enterprises. So when we are talking about addressing the issue of energy, then you have to build the skills of young people in fabricating technology that will also meet the energy need of the country. And when we are addressing the issue of food insecurity, then we have to build the skills of young people into climate smart agriculture activities. So these are capacity building activities that we have to promote in our various countries, because like what Lisa was saying, all these artificial intelligence that are being promoted now, they cannot communicate. They cannot communicate. They cannot share social experiences with the customers that are using them. So we have to be very mindful how we accept and how we promote these artificial intelligence that are being promoted. And I think one thing that I've looked at from the issue of the AI, it will stop us from thinking, and that is very dangerous.
Mm.
That when you have to comprehend and critical thinking and critical skills, you will just your mind will become dormant, and then you to interact or to answer or to communicate with people. Or rather, when you are asked questions, you go to the AI and then they respond and give you the answer, and then you send it to somebody. There are applications that I reviewed the past few weeks with the Aris project, where I serve as the global U advisor, and young people were answering questions that we placed in the application using AI, and we were very key how we already identified the questions, because those questions were not really communicating the emotion that we were asking for from those individuals. So it's very clear that despite you will use these things, but understand that communication is true emotion and social interaction, which this technology cannot promote. So I
Mm.
think building the skills of young people to meet our present day reality is better than
Very
even
important.
putting those intelligence. Thank you very much.
Thank you very much, Ezekiel. That was quite profound. Let me get to my friend from Ethiopia. She has a master's in aquaculture and ecosystem management, right? I had to get it right, and I just wanted to share with us, Yodanis, the opportunities that are there for young people to explore in the space of um, aquatic management. Right? I just need to please give me a few seconds. Let me get your profile right.
Yeah,
Uh,
the second one is
yes, aquatic
you're saying,
ecosystem management. Yeah, I just
yeah.
need to get it right because I wouldn't want to frame your questions in a manner that will not suit your person. So, what are opportunities that young people can tap into, building green skills in aquatic ecosystem management? We are talking about uh, the blue economy, and some people are against it, some people are for it. But what are the opportunities that people can build in, young people in particular, can jump into as a professional in that space?
Okay, thank you, Ed. Uh, as as we see, this is a part of the agricultural activities, like using it as a sustainable way. Aquaculture is also a type of agriculture. So most of the peoples, in Ethiopia use the water bodies for aquaculture. That we don't have any specific uh, tasks to take aquaculture because the weather, the water quality, and the opportunity to get those fries of the fishes, so the juveniles, I mean, it's hard to get those things. So, users didn't involve that much in the aquaculture sector, but we are trying to advocate for that also because, when we are preserving, when we are using the sustainable, in the sustainable way of the water bodies, we can make another opportunity to produce us the fish as in the level of aquaculture in our home, in our garden, in a large scale as well. So uh, the users engaged in aquaculture here is very, very low. But there is a fish farming around the water bodies. Ethiopia has many water bodies, so it will be easy for getting, but creating the awareness for those peoples. We have to do those things as using it sustainably, and fish is um, a source of high protein, so it will help to reduce malnutrition as well in the
Hmm.
yeah in the affected communities. We can use aquaculture as a means of giving a protein for the people. So that's it. Thank you, Ed.
Yeah. Thank you, Dennis. Because I understand that fish has to be the cheapest source of protein. And if young people would want to jump on this particular opportunity, there would be enough food for protein, basically animal protein for
Yeah.
the African population
Mhm.
to consume. Okay, so let me get back to you. Lisa. I just wanted to share a particular experience, that is peculiar to what is happening in the southern region of Africa. How young people or the things you're doing, particularly, you may want to talk about the things you're doing at the organization to see that you promote green skills, or you're building the green skills for young people in Malawi and perhaps in Southern Africa as a whole.
Yeah. Before I answer that, I wanted to agree with what Ezekiel said about promoting the private sector so that they also assist us as we are promoting green skills, because that is also a key stakeholder or a key player when it comes to us advancing green skills, even in my country, even. So as an organization, so we are into building mainly awareness about the different climate change impacts that are there. We talk about the Malawi as being in the southern part of Africa. We just experienced recently the cyclone Freddy in our southern region. So building awareness about that, but also making sure that we are also raising awareness about how we can make sure that we are in safe zones. By that, we're talking about disaster risk management issues, because that is also one key thing that comes into mind. But also in the projects that we also implement, we, together with our partners, we do implement projects that support young people to also produce renewable energy alternatives. That we talk about the clean energy cook stoves that they also produce but also use. Also promoting the use of solar, which are also useful when it comes to areas that are really far from the main grid, which they are not connected to the main electricity grid for electricity. Yeah. So another thing that we also focus on is the climate smart agriculture, where because we are a country that is agro-based with an agro-based economy. So
Wow.
promoting the climate smart agriculture, because understanding that with this changing climate, promoting things like irrigation, where we do understand that with the prolonged dry spells, that really comes in handy. But not only that, also promoting value addition, making sure that we do package these products that we produce so that we can sell them and not just keep them, sell them raw, or if I can say. So those are some of the things that we're working on. But also when it comes to green skills, we understand that even taking action requires capacity building. So making sure that we do have those people that are able to take on duty bearers to account when it comes to climate justice issues. You know, at the just ended climate justice Nairobi Summer School on climate justice, that was one key element of also building our capacity and using that to also build the capacity of fellow youths here so that they can be able to advocate and meaningfully engage in these decision-making processes that really play a key role in us creating a favorable environment that we can really implement all these practices that we're talking about. So yeah, that and more.
Yeah, I like the fact that you are talking about value addition, and I sincerely appreciate, because I know with value addition there will be a lot of jobs for people across the value chain. There will be the farmers, there will be the guys at the farm get to buy, there will be the guys who add value, and of course there will be the guys to do the marketing job. And that's actually what young people with the energy would want to jump on. So thank you very much with all the things you're doing, or for all the things you're doing over there in Malawi. Yes, the last person is supposed to be on this call just signal his presence. Let me make welcome Mr. Aliyu Sadiq from Nigeria. Aliyu, you're welcome. If you can hear me, can you speak up, Aliyu? Okay, so while we're waiting for Aliyu to, sort out these technical issues, I would like to say very thank you to our sponsors. And of course, this is EIN TV. And of course, we normally have this environmental resort every Thursday of the week. And sometimes, due to our schedule and how frequent, how flexible we should be, we normally may shift it to wherever we find it fit with our time, and of course the timing of our guests, because we make sure we have guests like what we're having here across the world. So due to time zone differences, we may have to schedule away from Thursday. And today we've been having a very critical conversation with young people across Africa. We have Ezekiel from Liberia, we have Ms. Banda from Malawi, we have Yordanos from Ethiopia. Aliyu Sadiq is trying to join us from Nigeria. We are talking about green skills for youth, and we are making the voice of young people across Africa heard. And I want to appreciate them sincerely for sparing their time to be with us. Ali, you may want to turn on your camera so that we can see you, and of course, you may want to lend your voice to the conversation. So while we're waiting for Aliyu to, set up his, okay, Ali, you're here. Can you hear me? Hello, Aliyu. Okay, so we're waiting for Aliyu to sort out the technical issues he's having. But once he's able to do that, we will have him talk to us. Aliyu has some very good activities he's carrying out here in Nigeria. And it's about building a green career, and of course green job, green skills for young people. He's been going around the country training young people on how they could sustainable career path. So let me get back to you, Ezekiel, my brother. Ezekiel, we at the summer school we're able to network, we're able to build synergy among ourselves, young people. And I would like you to, just say in very brief terms, what you think the impact of that has been on young people across Africa, and of course, on how that could help us as young people And of course, the activities of PACJA through the Climate and Nairobi Summer School on Climate Justice would impact young people across Africa to build green skills. Ezekiel, please.
Thank you. Thank you very much. The question is the question has already answered itself. The fact that four of us were at the Nairobi Summer School, there is an impact that we are currently seeing. Because everyone, I know everyone on the call, everyone know each other on the call. It's a huge impact that is network, and I think this can further expand into something amazing in the future that we all will find ourselves in positions that that is so much relevant that we can help each other out. So also another impact that I believe the summer school has made on majority of us is the knowledge that we have gained from the summer school. The knowledge is so immense that I'm still comprehending all those information that we got from the summer school. I'm trying to take this entire year to see whether everything can make sense in each context because the information was so enough that you cannot even use the entire summer school time to understand everything, and even after the summer school. Yeah, so that's something that is a whole lot of impact, a whole lot of information that we can access every time. And also those professors and those doctors that taught us, we have them at our disposal now, and we can connect with them as mentors, as teachers, as advisors along the way. So that's another impact that we have seen. And also the opportunities that we receive every time in our chat rooms is something that I believe is really rare among other young people in other places. But we have a chat room full of so much resources that we can tap into as we go along the way. And also back in my country is a way of opening up such opportunity for other Liberian youth to participate in the summer school. So I can guide them through the process. I can educate. They can go along the way. And lastly, to make my impact on the summer school, I think uh, expanding expanding beyond the summer school. There's a lot that we can get out of it. We have the Africa Climate Week that is coming up. Majority of us might be there, and I believe that being there is another way of rebonding, and is another way of sharing knowledge and opportunities on ourselves, and also being part of history that we can create an agenda for Africa as we go ahead for COP28. So I believe that the summer school makes so much impact, so much sense to me, and you are also doing amazing job, my brother from Nigeria. To have us on the score, we must applaud you for a tireless effort for getting our people. Yeah, flowers.
All right, thank,
That's
thank
what
you,
we
thank
Wow.
you, thank you, Ezekiel. You just bring about so many memories. Of course, Lisa had to bring back
yeah.
the flowers memories. Thank you so very much, and we sincerely appreciate PACJA for saying that they have us, particularly young people, at the summer school. Okay, so let me get to you, Yordanis. If you were to suggest a thing for the African Union, or perhaps the government of Ethiopia, to say that they help young people build. Ezekiel talked about how the private sector can come in, but we should not despise the place of the government, because that place that they are placed in our growth process, in our economy, in of course politics, and all of everything that pertains to do with development as a people. Their role is actually very critical. So if you were to suggest a thing to the African Union, or perhaps the president or the leadership of Ethiopian government, to be precise, what would that be in such a way that it will help young people build their green skill and career?
Okay. Let's start from my country, Ethiopia.
Yes, sir.
So yeah, I believe that, you know, like peoples here try to engage in many activities to, you know, to show their talents, to show their expertise. So on that way, like they're trying to, I mean, the users tries to engage in every task. So when we come to the green skills, you know, it is a multi area, it's a multi-sector environment. So we can be on innovation, we can be on green, like the agriculture, the sustainable, the blue economy. There are different sectors. So, you know, I believe that like we experience different climate change crises as well, like from the northern Ethiopia to now southern Ethiopia as well. So things should be, you know, the expertise, the government should implement those rules, the policies, the regulations uh, to participate those users, as to empower those users in Ethiopia. When I came to the whole Africa, the African Union, you know, we have to share our knowledge, we have to share our experiences from the different crises. So I think it should work like that.
Okay, thank you, Yodonis. I watched a video recently where the Kenyan president was, you know, advocating for us to be truly one Africa, where we do not have biases and barriers to doing businesses together. And of course, where if that is being implemented across Africa, you will find that the young people from across Africa may have opportunities anywhere, and they would jump at it to say that they do better for themselves, and of course they also do well by nature. Okay, so we have the only person that we're trying to see that he comes on the call, join us today, the man from Nigeria, Mr. Ali Sadiq. Mr. Ali, welcome to the to Environmental Research. Hello, Ali, can you hear me?
Mr. Ediong, can you hear me?
Yes, I can hear you loud and clear. Welcome to Environmental Research.
Thank you for having me. It's a pleasure to be here. I've been experiencing some network challenge. I hope the network will allow me to speak.
Yeah, it's you. So I will just allow you to introduce yourself and then go ahead and talk about the significance of this year's theme of International Youth Day. And of course, the activities you've been you are carrying out to see that young people in Africa build green skills.
Okay, thank you for the opportunity. My name is Ali Sadiq, and I am an environmentalist and a social entrepreneur from Nigeria. And my organization is EcoCycle, which is on a mission to address the problem of climate change, as well as pollution and waste, through the empowerment of young people and women in communities to be able to have the green skills needed to for addressing these problems. Works we've been doing in Nigeria involves green skill empowerment projects for specifically young people and women in communities, and some examples include training young people in the upcycling of plastics to produce pavers, to produce interlocks, working with students and teaching them skills to produce buildings and toilet facilities using plastic bottles in communities and schools without access to toilets and exposed to open defecation practices. Also working with communities and women, building them with skills to be able to solve environmental problems and waste within their communities. Just to confirm if you can hear me.
Yes, we can hear you.
Okay. To be able to enable them to be empowered, to have the skills needed to address their environmental problems, while also creating economic benefits for themselves, in essence, helping to address poverty. And it's a pleasure to be here. I've listened to a lot of other amazing speakers on the call. I'm really impressed, and I have been learning a lot.
Thank you, Aliyu, for finding time to be on the show today. I understand that you had a very busy day, and of course, you just had to create time to come on this conversation. We sincerely appreciate that. Thank you so much, and of course, for all the amazing things you are doing. So, ladies and gentlemen, we are almost running out of time because we're supposed to be keeping you guys for about 40 minutes here. But I beg your indulgence that you allow me to give you the next 3 to 4 minutes so that you may want to wrap up your thoughts. And I want to solicit that whenever again we call on you to come share your thoughts, because I know this 30 to 40 minutes may not be enough for you. You always grants us that privilege. So let me get back to you, Lisa. Can you briefly share your final thoughts, and of course what you would do going forward to see that young people across Africa, not just in Malawi, build green skills for a sustainable society and of course our environment.
So for me, having listened to everyone here and all the thoughts that people have, very amazing thoughts for our great continent of Africa, I'd say that we need to create those alternatives for the lifestyles that we are living now that are harmful to our communities, to our societies, to our environment. So when we create those alternatives, it's when people would choose to go green, because go green should not just be a motto, it should be in practice. So we might have those policies, but if we do not create those alternatives, then what do they mean? We are not going to achieve anything. So it is in us, it is in our decision makers. And I use this opportunity to call on each and every African government that, and even young people, that these are the opportunities that we have to utilize the green skills to create these alternatives. So as for me, I will be engaging in capacity building for young people to create more climate justice advocates, but also activists, so that we do create together, we will create those alternatives. Be it mostly my passion is in adaptation, because we want to adapt to this changing climate. So I'll be moving forward, mobilizing resources to make sure that we do implement all those amazing climate change adaptation initiatives as young people. Thank you.
Okay, thank you, Ms. Banda. I understand that we will be your passion on is. I just got to know your area of interest, which is adaptation, and I'll be looking forward to have you talk about the Youth for Adaptation Finance and how it is faring over there in Malawi. I hope you will grant me the opportunity whenever I call on you to do that.
Definitely.
All right, so I move back to you, Yodanos from Ethiopia. As we are marking this year, of course, there are a lot of activities lined up for this month, to celebrate the young people and of course to encourage young people to embrace green skills. So I move back to you, Yodanis. What are your thoughts and what are your plans to see that you help young people, especially in your own country, to come together to build green skills? And going forward.
I'm currently working with the organization named the Youth Print, the print for the users, right? So we are doing on the green skills. Yeah, we are like empowering the users to advocate for the greenery tasks, for the sustainable use, for the sustainable goals. So we are promoting the sustainable agricultural practices, energy waste management, those that helps for green scale. So this organization mainly aims to empower the users on that tasks. So I'm one of that organization team. So I'm doing to promote those things as a youth from Ethiopia. Yeah.
All right. Okay. Thank you so very much, Eunice. And I hope to, see more of what you do, and perhaps I will always there to promote exactly the activities you do there here on Environmental Resort on ERN TV. Thank you so much for the amazing work you're doing. So I move back to my brother, Aliyu Sadiq. Aliyu, are you on the call? Can you hear me?
I'm with you, Mr. Ediong.
Okay, so you have the floor right now, and I just wanted to, though you joined the conversation a bit late, that notwithstanding, I just wanted to, share your thoughts going forward, because I understand how critical it is, the things you're doing in Nigeria, and of course, given the population of Nigeria, and of course, the impact of waste, particularly plastic waste, and I know the things you're doing with EcoCycle. So I just wanted to, share your thoughts on how youth can leverage, given the theme of this year's International Youth Day, how the young people can, leverage to see that, they do better, and of course by nature. So Ali, please, you have the floor.
Okay, thank you so much for the opportunity. I see that the previous speakers have made justice to whatever the topic is. So mine would just be contributing to or adding to what they have said. And the truth is the importance of green skills cannot be overemphasized. And looking at the
Mm.
fact that the world is transiting rapidly from a linear economy to a circular economy. Industries, organizations, and lifestyles are rapidly changing, and it becomes critical for us to adopt the skills for the next generation, which would make us relevant and critical to this transition. Furthermore, the issue of unemployment, which is critical and it is widespread, not just in Nigeria, but in a lot of other African countries and some other global nations, is a big problem that is yet to find a solution. And linking it to the issues around pollution, waste, plastics, and the rest, there's a huge gap that if these green skills are utilized to solving these problems, it would not only solve the environmental problems, biodiversity loss, and climate change issues that is linked to it, but will also create job opportunities, green enterprise opportunities for young people, and this will be addressing directly the issue of poverty and unemployment that bedevils Nigeria and a lot of other countries. So it becomes critical that in various sectors, not just the very area of waste management, but also in the areas of agriculture. I had one of the speakers speaking on agriculture, the areas of renewable energy, the areas of conservation. Green skills are really critical. Even in the fossil fuel sectors, there are now the deployment of green skills to make their systems and their operations much more eco-friendly towards ensuring a carbon neutrality and also pushing for net zero. So if you are out there and still waiting to get more information, I'll tell you the time is now for you to begin to acquire green skills.
Mm.
So you would be part of the transitioning to the new generation of a carbon neutral world, which the world is facing and the direction everyone is on. So that's it.
Uh, uh, all right, thank you very much, Ali. The time is now for you to learn green skills, of course, transition accordingly with other people, so that AI will not take your job. Okay, so we move to we move to Ezekiel. Ezekiel, please, your final thought as we call it a wrap. Thank you.
Yeah, thank you very much for the invitation. Um, we have close to 10, 10 to 12 million young people entering the job market every year, competing with 3.1 million jobs. It's a serious challenge that we face in our continent. And the alternative here is the green skills retooling that we create an opportunity for young people to acquire the relevant skills needed to address poverty, climate change, and every environmental problems that we are faced with. I think we have all it takes in Africa to prepare for the circular economy, like what Ali was saying. All we need is the interest, is the awareness, is the conversation to keep ongoing, to tell young people how important it is for us to acquire green skills so that we cannot be left behind in the transition process from economy to the circular
Mm.
economy. I want to encourage every young person out there when you are acquiring your undergraduate, master, to keep your eye on green careers that you won't be left behind, not the careers that we have now. Every country, every government prepares your young people for the green market because if you don't do that, your country will be left behind as the world move forward with the circular economy. I want to appreciate you don't know and everyone on the call for sharing their ideas, their experiences, and let's keep all the conversation going. Thank you so much, my brother.
All right, thank you, Ezekiel. Thank you so very much, Udanos. Thank you, Ms. Banda. Thank you, Aliyu. And Aliyu happens to be one of us, one of the network members in Nigeria and of PACJA. And I understand that one of the things, all of us we do understand that one of the things that PACJA has been advocating for has been the demand for climate justice. So I would just like us to do that chant, and then of course as we wrap up this conversation. So what do we want? Climate justice.
Climate justice.
What do we want? Climate justice.
Climate justice.
When do we want it?
Now.
Now. What do we want? Climate justice. And when do we want it? Now. Thank you so very much, guys. It's been quite amazing moment talking to you, Ezekiel, my brother from Liberia. Thank you, Aliyu from Nigeria. Thank you, Lisa from Malawi. Thank you, Eudonis from Ethiopia. Thank you so very much, guys, for sparing your time to be a part of this conversation. I do not take it for granted, and I look forward to having you guys join us on an environmental resource whenever we call upon. Is that a promise?
That's a promise.
Yes.
Thank you. Thank you so very much. Thank you.
Yeah.
All right, so ladies and gentlemen, today we had a very meaningful conversation with young people across Africa on environmental resource. We had Lisa from Malawi. We had Eudonis from Ethiopia, and then we had Ezekiel from Liberia, and we had Aliyu from Nigeria. So you would agree with me that it's been a journey from Nigeria to Malawi to Liberia to Ethiopia, and of course, and you would also agree with me that it's been a journey across the regions of Africa where young people come together to share their voice in order to mark the International Youth Day with the theme "Green Skills for Youth." So we're here, we are gathering voices of young people across Africa and how they could build green skills. And like one of them have said, there is no further time for you to sit on the fence. You have to come on board to see that you learn something new, to learn green skills, so that you will not be left behind as we transition into the circular economy, of course, properly, and of course the green economy, to see that that we build a sustainable society, a sustainable space, and of course we do right by nature. So make sure at all costs that you build a green skill for yourself, and of course you talk to some other persons. And if you're a young person from Africa, make sure that your voice is heard as we demand for equitable and sufficient finance for climate adaptation, because we must first of all adapt before we talk about mitigation. Thank you so very much for being a part of this conversation today. I would like to say a very big thank you to Blue Green Initiative for Sustainable Development, Climate and Sustainable Development Network of Nigeria, Pan-African Climate Justice Alliance, and of course the Nairobi Summer School, who we had a bulk of the alumni today on the show. Thank you so very much, myself being one of them. Thank you, and thank you so much indeed. And to you, who has always spent your time to, come on the show to learn a thing or to, of course, make your voices or thought, share your thought as well. We sincerely appreciate it. Thank you. It's been a fantastic 3 minutes from Western to the Eastern to the southern part of Africa, to see that young people come together to talk and of course to share their experience to mark the International Youth Day. My name is Ediong Senginen Dunobong, and from here we'll be saying bye-byes. So good night. If it's night already from wherever you are, and of course it's night here, it's getting to a night already in Nigeria. Thank you so very much, everyone. Bye-bye.